difficult for bees and other insects to locate flowers? Well, we know that there's a crisis in the bee population worldwide. They don't know what's going on. Well, pollution is one cause, and I'm sure that GM crops is another cause, because these creatures, large and small, that God has made, they're specialists, and they know when something isn't any good, and they would avoid it. They really, really would. I was shocked to see that a bee is so sophisticated in its navigation that it is said that if a hive is moved at the wrong time of the day, 1 foot away from where it was, let us say I got that wrong and make it 3 feet. This is nothing, that. The bee would not find its hive on its return. So you can imagine, if we are putting out plastic flowers, as far as the bee is concerned, the bee's not going to be there. In my garden I've had a lot of flowers this spring, but I've seen very, very few bees. Very, very few. Also, these vast acreages of rapeseed, but I haven't seen any rapeseed growing as yet, but it is probably there. It draws the bees to the rapeseed, and therefore they don't worry about the fruit trees and the flowers. So I just had a break for a moment to answer the phone. But there's something else that I need to mention to you, and that is we've now got a problem where we said about smoke down in Argentina. Well, in Britain now, in Europe, there's a whiff across Europe, and there's a huge smell, and they're saying, what's the cause? It's an atmospheric aroma. And they're saying that the charity Water Aid yesterday claimed that London had not smelt as bad since the Great Stink of 1858 caused by raw sewage. But the Met Office stressed that yesterday's pong posed no danger to health. Of course it doesn't. One of the things that we are doing now is in our ecologist situation, we are now stopping the production of food. Corn has been grown in order to make biofuel. So it's more important for us to have biofuel because of, quote, global warming, which is a scam. So we're making fuel for our vehicles rather than food for people. Can you believe that? Vast acreages, that's what's happening now. Now, just some idea of what's happening in Britain. Food prices soar at fastest rate for 17 years. Pasta has gone up by 81% just in a year. Chicken has gone up from £2 per kilo to £3.54, 77%. And so it goes on. Minced beef is up from £1 to £1.64 for 500 grams, 64%. And that's in affluent Britain where we can afford it. And then there are all sorts of figures. They're now saying the average family is likely to have to find an extra £1,500 a year just to stand still. So there's lots and lots about the food thing. I've said enough there. We're coming to the end of this, and we're asking here now the 50 million Zambian dollar question: how long will the world stand by and allow this tragedy to continue? With inflation at 160,000%. Can you imagine that? 160,000%. Unbelievable figures. In Zimbabwe, everybody's a millionaire. It is true. Everybody. in Zimbabwe is a millionaire. But it doesn't mean they can afford to do things like buy bread, little things like that. They've got 40 million Zambian dollars for 50 onion seedlings. Can you imagine that? A note smaller than 10 million Zambian dollars is small change, and anything below 1 million is simply scrap paper. Bananas cost 150 million Zambian dollars, a loaf 300 million Zambian dollars. The widow of a man who worked all his life for the postal service gets a pension of Zambian dollars $1,295 a month. Not enough for a box of matches, possibly not even one match. That's quite something. Now, in less than 10 years, Mugabe has reduced Zimbabwe's population by 1/3. Isn't that something? One man reduced the population of the country that he was in, a country that was the breadbasket of Africa, by 1/3. These are all things from today. But while that's going on, we have hedge fund managers in London. A couple of guys there earned £175 million a year. Now this is real money. This isn't Zambian dollars. This is real money. 175 million each. Another guy got 150 million. Somebody else, two other guys got 175 million per year. I'm asking who rules the world. I'm showing you all these things so that you can see the reality of the situation in the world today. Now, the final bit of newspaper that I'm going to address this evening, you know, Jerusalem is a cup of trembling for the world. Most religions support Israel. They think that Israel is of God. The churches do, and the politicians do. The American government does, the British government, the French government, the Australian government, and so it goes on. Well, in the past few days, on the 19th of April, there was a headline in the Independent newspaper. If you can see it there, it's not such a good one. You can see the Israeli flag. Well, the question, or what they're saying, is this group of soldiers are giving their shocking testimonies that reveal abductions, beatings, and torture. Our reign of terror by the Israeli army.